Hey there.
Hi.
Much love, much love. Great to see you again.
Oh, it's so good to see you, Jerome. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I think it's been years since we spoke like this, has it?
Yeah, just about two, I think, 2 years.
2 years, 2 years. And it is Mara?
Mara, yes.
Mara. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for inviting me back here. Yeah.
Thank you, Jerome. You are an inspiration to a lot of people, and you've been a big part of my journey. So I am so grateful that you agreed to this. I really am grateful. Um, yeah, just like turning that nervousness into excitement and just yeah, I'm very happy that I'm doing this for myself
Hmm.
as well. You know, working on my throat has been a challenge and a beautiful transformation. So this is a part of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for agreeing to this. Yeah.
That is beautiful, Mara. You know, when you're talking about working with your throat chakra, like just opening that center and really expressing yourself, the way you know best and just coming out into the open, what was the trigger for you? What was the inspiration? Like, what was the initial motivation?
Oof, it's been a journey. I think my journey really began when my grandfather passed, and I was in a stage in my life where I was I was smoking. I was very much repressing that, my throat, my lungs, all of that.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I think everything comes from childhood, but that especially for me was um, a big thing. So I think that ignited it. And just in the past, I'd say a year or two, I've really been opening up more my throat and sharing more without shame, you know, sharing my crazy, amazing thoughts with people and allowing myself to share without the fear of um, rejection, the
Mm.
fear of judgment.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very liberating to be just yourself and allow to whoever's on the same page to just, you know, flow in and allow that community to expand. So yeah, it's been a journey, and you are amazing with communicating. I always it makes me laugh how you're just rhyming all the time without even trying. So it's yeah, it's been really amazing to have, you know, people like you just being true inspirations, and just there's like this comedic effect to it. It's just like you're not trying, it's just flowing. So
Um,
it's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that reflection. I
Yeah.
appreciate that connection and for you to have that, for you to see me that way, it means a lot. It means a lot. And I'm honored that you see me that way because just like yourself, Mara, like you said, facing rejection in the face of your own authenticity, facing the judgment, facing the criticism of people that, might view you in a certain way. I definitely have battled with that a lot during my life, especially, in earlier years. Just putting myself out there was a challenge at first, but it got easier over time. Yeah.
Mm, that's amazing. Yeah, I've been truly inspired with your I just saw your story the other day. You have 15 books. I just want to congratulate you on that's amazing. It's huge that you're making such ripples, not only by doing qigong every day and helping people, you know, regenerate and uh, transform that chi, you know, but also you're actively writing books, and that's huge. So I just want to say thank you for being you and doing what you're doing, and I can't wait to buy some of your books. But yeah, I did want to ask you
Yeah.
if you want to share a bit about, your journey, any specific igniting moments in your journey that really brought you inspiration to continue on this path
Mhm.
of chronic living in general. So whatever you want to share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you for asking, Mara. I appreciate that question. And just the inner chi flow, the inner chi flow, it's like you understand where the energy is going, you understand how the energy is growing, and you understand how to keep it all flowing. I've understood that a lot more over the years through certain mentors and certain people, certain divine encounters that I've had with individuals that are still mentors to me today. But had I not met them, I don't think I would have really gotten into the field of energy work, the field of Qigong, the field of meditation, the field of just raising vibration, like the spirituality of it all. I wouldn't have really gravitated towards it until there were things in my life that really caused a shift. And for some people, it can be through inspiration. And through other people, it can be through desperation. So
Mhm.
I had a mixture and a marriage of both of those. It was both of those motivating factors through pleasure and pain, inspiration and desperation. That marriage of those things allowed me to go further than I ever thought I could ever go before
Mhm.
and to explore even more. So I definitely have that to thank. It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't some kind of, at first it didn't feel like I was on the right path. But then the more that you just walk, the journey unfolds, and then the fog kind of starts to clear as you work with your faith and go through your fear, it starts to clear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I definitely can relate. I think everyone relates to the inspiration and desperation. This beautiful symphony, this harmony between both, and yeah, I think it's necessary and it's very important to have both the yin and yang.
Mm.
Um, if there's no if there's one and not the other, it's not gonna move forward. It's not gonna grow. So it's important to appreciate both. So yeah, I wanted to also talk about um, so many things,
Mm.
but I did want to talk about food, the topic of food.
Mhm.
I think it's been a very big uh, topic in my life recently is questioning questioning what I'm putting into my body, how much, because a lot of times it's just overconsumption. It's not just through the mouth, through the ears, through the eyes, and through every portal of your being. We're over consuming,
Mhm.
um, and I think that it's a big topic. I know I'm not 100% sure if you are completely just being fed through uh, nature and through different modalities. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you a bit about food and see how that relates to you and how that doesn't relate to you. And yeah, I think that's a big inspiration that I've gotten from you
Yeah.
in general is how you speak about consumption. So yeah, if you could just share whatever you'd like to about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Mara. And I love the way you frame your questions as well. Like it's very explorative, it's very open-ended, it's very expanding, you know. It's not like demanding, but it feels like it's expanding. So thank you just for the way that you frame your questions and you're asking just out of your own curiosity, because it was curiosity and it was questions that got me on this path.
Mm,
I had to question everything that I thought I knew about consumption, about nourishment, about nutrition, about vitamins, about minerals, about sustenance, about survival, everything.
mm,
Everything that I thought I knew has been completely blown out of the water. You know, no pun intended. It's been blown out. It's been blown out. And it happened through a series of, you know, different fasting attempts and then different fasting journeys and then liquid journey and then a completely just, you know, pranic journey where that led me to understand that I had no understanding, you know, that led me to know that I knew nothing. You know, it was like the complete revelation was, you know, nothing. It just brought me down to ground zero, just 0 point. It really humbled me to understand, okay, let's just really reframe all of this because if I'm still alive, after all of that, if I'm still alive, then something else is keeping me alive because that it wasn't actually keeping me alive. I thought it was, you know, it tasted good, it was nice, it was very stimulating, but it wasn't keeping me alive because if not, then I shouldn't be alive. So a lot of people, you know, they feel that, you know, you hear people, if you tell somebody, oh, well, what happens if you don't eat for a certain amount of days, like for 5 days, 3 days, what have you? They'll pretty much say that they perish, you know, they die, the body passes on, they transition. And most people, that is their belief, that the body cannot go on, it cannot survive without food, without something dense, without something physical, without this material that goes in the body and comes out the body as waste. Without that process of digestion happening, they figure that, you know, the human vessel, it cannot continue. So when you realize that it can continue, and not only can you be, you know, more than surviving, that you can be thriving without a connection to things that you used to have a connection to that gave you a lot of satisfaction, a lot of gratification, a lot of emotional stimulation, you can actually go further with less. You can actually do more with a little. You ever heard the saying like they say, Mara, you probably heard this, a little goes a long way. You ever heard that?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
A little goes a long way, you know? And somebody once said that you should you should eat a little so that you can live long enough to eat a lot. They said they rationalized. They said eat a little so that you can live long enough to eat a lot. And is a paradox. Is a paradox because we think that food gives us life, but we've had people who have died and the food is still sitting there. It's still in their bowels, it's still in their stomach, it's just rotting along with the body. It doesn't, if it was giving them life, they should have lived, you know? Like they should have, if we could inject ourselves, you know, with food and keep our lives, I mean, you know, this would be a whole completely different existence. But the last thing to go is the breath. You know, the baby gets, you know, popped when the doctor brings the baby out and it slaps the baby and, you know, it starts crying and then the breath comes into the body, right? It comes out, it comes in, and that process continues until the breath leaves. And once the breath is gone, the flesh is still there. You know, the breath is gone, but the body is there. So what was the breath? You know, what is the spirit? What is that energy that is animating this vessel? You know, getting to know that has been such an exploration. It's taken me so many places and it still continues to do so. So yeah, I would have never even started on this path had it not been for the pain, the emotional discomfort, the emotional, really I was disillusioned because I was dissatisfied. So it was the dissatisfaction with my life at that point that led me to find something different. And that was the genesis of everything that you see, of everything, of all of this, and just me being so motivated and inspired to motivate and inspire others to understand what is possible. Because I just want people to know it's possible. It's not to tell people, hey, you have to live like this. Hey, you have to stop eating. Hey, you have. It's just like, there's an option, you know? It's there. It's an experience. When I was eating all the stuff I was eating and depleting and just needing and feeding all the time back in the, you know, years ago, I was eating everything. I was raised eating everything. My family still eats everything. they're not trying to stop eating anytime soon. But no, seriously, you know, I was just there
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving. I was just there. And it's been a year now since I was there for last Thanksgiving. And yeah, everything's, I mean, it's still the same. You still see the sickness, coughing every day, hacking up the mucus, you know, the mucus in the body, like everything. The kids are sick, they got root canals, there's just, you know, so many things going on. And I'm there for, you know, 2 weeks. Last time I was there for months at a time. The whole time I was there, they never saw me eat, they never saw me sick, and they never asked questions. They didn't care to ask questions. So a year has gone by, it's same thing. I'm still walking miles in every day, you know, doing all the stuff that I do. They see me doing all these things, publishing books, doing videos, doing qigong with the group, doing lives, doing conversations, interviews. They still see the regularly scheduled programming, and I'm washing dishes. That's the only thing. I'm at the house washing. They laugh just like you laugh. They laugh just like you about it. They're like, "Why are you washing all of our dishes? You don't even eat. You don't even eat. What are you washing all these dishes?" So I just treat it as a meditation and a form of relaxation. It's a meditation for me. But I enjoy being around them. I definitely enjoyed my time there. But it's just an understanding. It's just an understanding that, hey, it's all an experience. We choose what experience that we want to have in this life. And if we've never felt something before, we don't really know what we're missing. You know, it's not like we really understand what it feels like to be without something consciously. You know, there's a difference between not eating consciously, like because that's a decision you made, versus not eating out of survival, like not eating because you don't have enough money to buy a food, you know? That's a different vibration, it's a different energy. And so that fear vibration can lead to starvation versus the other vibration of joy and bliss and peace and fulfillment from something that's not even filling you, you know, from the breath alone, from the prana alone, from the air alone. That, I mean, that's something completely different. And if you've never felt what that feels like, you just don't know. You have no idea. So I had no idea. And until I got an idea, I would have never thought it was possible. So that's what this journey has led me to do, and to just let people know, hey, this is possible. It's an option, it's an experience, and yeah, you know, everything that we do in this life, it matters. Yeah.
Uh, Hearing you speak just makes me so happy. Thank you for sharing all of that. And yeah, I did see your when you shared that you were with your family for Thanksgiving, and yeah, it's so interesting. I wanted to ask you,
Hmm.
are you standing right now?
Yeah,
Okay, amazing. I
yeah.
thought so. Um, yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. It's filling me right now. I personally, I am not there yet, and I acknowledge, and I'm being patient with myself because I don't know where I want to be. But it's so nice to have people like you showing that path, showing that it is possible. It is so much more than possible, and you are such a big light in so many people's life. Just speaking your truth. Not pretending to be anything that you're not, just being, being and doing exactly what you're doing. Yeah, for me, it's been a journey. I was eating when I was with my grandma. I was eating 3 meals a day, every day, just like a lot of chocolate, dessert, so many different things. So much stimulation, overstimulation, and my acne was horrible. It was horrible. I would look in the mirror and I'm like, what, this isn't me. So eventually, actually my grandma would always eat only 2 meals a day, and she's very she never feels hunger. This is the funniest part. My grandma never feels hunger. She says, I'm not hungry, but I'm eating because I know I have to. And I told
Mm.
her, I was like, don't have to, but it is very interesting to me that you never feel hunger. She always says that I never feel hunger and I never sweat. And I told her, you are an angel. You are a little angel on earth. And it's just so interesting to me that the more that I've been furthering myself away from food, the less I've been needing it. But then I'm at this stage in my life where I went from 3 meals to 2 meals a day. Now I'm in the middle of 2 to 1, and I'm doing these beautiful intermittent fastings where I'm just kind of having that break. And it's such a beautiful silence. It's such a beautiful silence. It's wonderful. And what I've noticed is that nighttime, when nighttime hits, like my survival mode comes out and I'm like over consuming, you know? So I'm definitely at that stage where I'm balancing. I'm balancing between I know I don't need this, but there's a little whisper in my ear. There's a whisper in my ear saying, but you could. Um, and I know for a fact that we all have parasites. Most of us do have parasites within us. For me, I feel them whispering in my ear. I feel them talking to me and saying, yeah, but that chocolate would taste really good right now. And then if I do it, I have that like moment of bliss, that dopamine hit for, I don't know, maybe a second or two. And then after, I drop. My energy just drops to the floor, and I feel like, wow, what did I just do? So yeah, it's so interesting, and I'm grateful for where I'm at right now. Um, but I know that so much more is possible.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'm excited to continue this journey of eating less and less and just consuming less in general, and only consuming things that are meant to be, sunlight, air, just all of these beautiful things, grounding in nature. So many things are much more fulfilling and actually charge you up with chi versus depleting you, and your body is now in the state where all of the energy is now in your abdomen, and it's trying to digest these things that it's like, why is this why is this in here? So yeah, thank you for showing that it is possible. I know that a lot of times when I've talked to people about breatharianism, liquidarianism, they're like, that that's fiction. That's not real. That's not possible. I was like, actually, look at this radiating being, Jerome. Look at this. There's so many beautiful examples of people that are doing it. And just showing people like this is a possibility is like, I can see that they still don't fully believe it, which is okay. But it's great to have that role model. So yeah, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, what a journey. Yeah, I I did also want to ask you if you would share what practices do you do in your daily life that fill you, that fill your that fill your soul.
Yeah.
I think I know some of them just based off of what I've seen, but yeah, I'd love for you to share what fills you up.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mara. Thank you. And also thank you just for that sentiment about seeing me as a role model. I still see role models. I definitely feel like I'm not alone. I'm definitely
Mhm.
not alone. And the path has been shown. So I feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and that's how I can see further because I'm on the shoulders of people who are carrying me. They've already done the work, and there have been people that have carried them and people that have carried them, and we carry each other. It's like humanity, we're like walking each other home. That's what they say. We're all
Wow.
walking each other home. So, when it comes to my practices, the methods and modalities, and then even the mentality, because that's a whole nother thing, the mindset, the mental reprogramming. So that comes with like words of affirmation, maybe even guided meditation. I've done my own affirmations. I've given them out on Patreon. I've recorded like YouTube videos and audios of like meditations and affirmations that I've recited for myself to have that mental reprogramming of understanding, okay, I'm not weakening, I'm not depleting, I'm getting all that I'm needing, you know, that the prana is providing, you know, provisions all the time, that nature always provides. So that was a programming that I had to get into the understanding of. And as well, meditation in general, channeling light through the body, you know, just positioning, you know, putting your body in the right structure, in the right posture, in the right position, with the spine erect, with the body erect, with just that channel being a conduit for that energy to come to and through you, you know, that really opens up a lot in the body, you know, kind of yogic positioning, you know, putting yourself in that position for that kundalini energy to rise. You know, the heat loves to rise upwards when it's allowed to, when we're not dousing the flame with the earth or you know, the water or the just whatever matter that we're dousing the flame within us, you know, it can burn even brighter within you if you allow it to continue, you know. And what's really simple is the way we allow it is by doing nothing. We allow it by doing nothing at all. It's like what I've been learning over the years is that my body is like, it feels like my body is 10 times more intelligent than my mind, than my brain. Like my brain wants to do this, my brain wants to do that, but my body already knows what it needs. It knows it, you know, it can extract what it needs, it can grab what it needs, it can absorb what it needs. It's just the mind that gets in the way of the natural process, you know. So it's our constitution, it's literally like our constitution to be healthy, you know. It's like just to exist, you know. It's we're already, it's already written, like the body, the code is already written, but we get in the way of that by thinking that we know best, we know best what it needs. No, I need this vitamin, this B12, this omega-3, this, you know, like you know, I need all of these things to be, you know, in a state of vitality. And the body is like, no, we don't need any of that, you know. It's an overabundance of something creates a deficiency, you know. Anything in excess usually can create a deficiency, like an imbalance. So the body knows how to come into homeostasis, it knows how to balance itself. So one of my practices is just doing nothing, literally doing nothing. And that downtime, conversely, it is the uptime, you know, like that is doing the work. And it works in so many ways. You mentioned before, Mara, you mentioned the dopamine. Dopamine, oh my God. This is one of the most fascinating subjects that I've studied this year is dopamine, like these neurotransmitters like oxytocin and serotonin and endorphins and, you know, dopamine and all of these things, that this chemical cocktail in the body that is just going off at these different times. And like you said, when you took that piece of cake and you get that spike, you get that hit of dopamine, it's immediate, you know, it's immediate. It's like you're really just plugging yourself, or you're injecting yourself with that dopamine for the moment. But then you said there's the crash, there's the dip, there's the down, you know, that downside. So, you know, when you just allow the body to equalize and stabilize in its own frequency and its own vibration, it's more steady. It's not like herky jerky jumps and you know, big crashes and then like a roller coaster. You know, it can even out to a really steady flow, that inner chi flow, and it can carry you, you know, wherever you need to go. So with dopamine, one of the things that I've discovered is we each have like a dopamine starved rat inside of us. And if we kind of like it's like if we,
I just visualized mine. Yep.
yeah. So if we can do something that is less stimulating, you know, something like sitting down in silence or staring at a wall. You know, I do these practices. I stare at a wall, I stare at a candle flame, or, you know, I stare at the sun, or I just you know, just let it simmer down, let the dopamine simmer down. So many things are so fulfilling when that baseline is lowered, you know? Back in the day when I was playing video games all day, constant dopamine all day long, I wasn't motivated to read books. I wasn't motivated to write books. I wasn't motivated to have conversations like this, to do qigong, to do energy work, to do all of the stuff that you see me doing. When I had that stimulate, like when the stimulation was at an all-time high, my motivation was at an all-time low. Like that was the converse reality, and that was my mentality. So one of the things that I do is I intentionally starve that dopamine so that it brings more life into everything in my life. It's very backwards. It's like a paradox. And it goes back full circle to the less is more. Less is more. You know, like the less that I'm scrolling, you know, on Instagram or scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on whatever, the more I have energy for this. You know, I want this. This is the connection I love. You know, this is way better than doing this all day, you know? So for me, this is food. This conversation cuisine, this is what we call it. Conversation cuisine. This is food, you know? When you're dancing with somebody, dancing with your partner, you have a dance dinner, that's a dance dinner, right? That's food. When you're outside and you're looking at the sunset or the sunrise, that's a sunset supper. Or, you know, that's a whole meal. You're sustained by the sun, right? You're nourished in nature. You're revitalized by the respiration, by that information that's flowing inside you, that's all
Mm.
around in the air. Like we don't really understand what's in the air. You know, we have no idea. So we are definitely being sustained, and there's forces that are you're able to gain and be maintained, and it goes further, and it's never in vain. That's why these days when you're going without, you never regret it because your body never forgets it. It understands that, oh, yeah, I can turn something on that was turned off. Like every time I was drinking coffee and guzzling caffeine with all those energy drinks, the Red Bulls, the Rock Stars, the Monsters, right? It's like I was turning off of a switch in my body and not allowing it to do what it could already do naturally. So it wasn't even giving me energy. It was actually shutting off the receptors in my mind that signaled to the body, it's tired. It's time to sleep. So every time I was putting something in, thinking that this is charging me up, it was just blocking me from realizing I need to go down. You know, like I need to recover, I need to revitalize in that way so that I can get up again. You know, like it's okay to go down to get back up. It's a natural rhythm. You know, we work with our rhythms and cycles. But when we interrupt that cycle with the mind again, the mind that thinks, no, I need to be up right now. I need to work right now. I need to grind right now. I need to hustle right now. You know, let me do this right now. Let me guzzle this right now so I can go right now.
Yeah.
But when you just go, you're not in flow, you know? So, yeah, these are some of the things: meditation, conversation, exercise, walking every day. I walk for miles and miles every day. I might do breath work. I do Qigong with the group every day. I read and I write, and I just be in service the best way that I can. And being in service is also an energy that just, it's a gift that keeps on giving endlessly. You never understand like the ripple effect of just you coming on here, Mara, you coming on here, breaking out of your shell to open yourself up in a new way. If you never do this again, the ripple effect still goes on. It still goes on, you know, to the end, to forever. So doing that all the time, constantly, you see the effects, and you see the way that it connects with other people, and that is food. That's a life of its own. So yeah, we're fed by so many things. It's just a different diet that we're on. Yeah.
Was it that you said diet? Was it you that said live it instead
Yeah,
of diet?
yeah, one of my friends did. Not me, not me. One of my friends said live it. Yeah,
I
I
love
like that
that.
word too. I
I
like that word as well.
love that word. I was like, yeah, diet has the word die in it. Why?
Yeah,
I wonder why. You're yeah, wow, wow. Wow.
Yeah, one of my mentors said diet is he calls it an acronym for do I eat that? You know? And then after
Yeah.
he ate that, after he ate the cake, he's like, did I eat that? You know, like you're still hungry. Did I eat that? So that's what he calls diet. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm so yeah, I feel literally full just off of this conversation. I feel very, very complete. Even more complete than I already was. Um, yeah, thank you for sharing all of that. I think those practices, you're right, the less stimulation, the more motivation in the end of the day. I find myself, mindlessly scrolling sometimes, and then I'm like looking at myself do this and I'm like, what what's going on over there? But yeah, it's really like those mental traps, the overstimulation that traps you in the moment of just the narrow-minded, just go 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 go.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's nice when we realize that we can free ourselves from that. And it's much easier than it looks. We just have to consciously choose. It's all about making the right decisions. And one thing for me is that when I realize in the end that, oh, maybe that wasn't the best decision, I I used to punish myself. I used to be like, how could you do that? How could you? You should have known better. But I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of power in allowing for those wrong decisions and moving forward and knowing that, okay, you did that. Just talking to your little inner child and being like, it's okay,
Right.
it happens. And moving forward for the next time that something like that comes up, what are you gonna choose this time? And then if you make the wrong decision again, it's okay. It's the experience. It's the whole experience. And yeah, that's been something that I've been having to be very patient with myself, very, very patient, and acknowledging that a lot of it's just curiosity, like making the wrong decisions sometimes, like, ooh, like what'll happen if I do this instead of that. And um, yeah, I've been working on listening to my intuition, and something that's really been blocking that has been my gut. My gut needs a lot of my attention right now, and it's asking me to let go of a lot of attachments that I have, specifically to sugar. I know sugar's been at first I was actually smoking very heavily, and thank goodness I'm at the place where I've let that go for a while now, and yeah, now it's sugar. It's moving through all of these different addictions that we have, and it's very powerful to realize that it's not just one and done. It's going to come up. All of these addictions are going to come back up, and you're gonna be like, are you gonna fall, or are you going to continue and grow
Mhm.
in the path that you're going to? So right now, I'm working on sugar, and I know that a lot of us do have this attachment, this unhealthy attachment to sugar, and how it makes us feel. And yeah, that's been something that I've had to be patient with. And the way that I look at it is that um, sometimes we just really need to experience something enough times to realize that it was never the answer, you know? And for me, that happened with smoking. I got to a point where this isn't the answer. I got a point to sugar where it's just like, it's not fulfilling. It is not fulfilling at all. In the moment, for those 2 seconds, like I said, it's extremely fulfilling. It's like you're on top of the world. And then after that, it's like, wow, that's not what I was searching for. What I was searching for was a deeper connection to myself, a deeper connection to source and consciousness, this feeling of love, this feeling of being complete and feeling just a part of something. And a lot of times when I do consume something that I know I shouldn't be, it's because I'm feeling incomplete, and that comes from emotions. Emotions, energy and motion is just a lot of the times we are suppressing something and we need something exterior to make us feel complete. And yeah, acknowledging that and allowing for these emotions to arise without me needing something exterior to suppress them. It's like there's a lot of power in that, allowing these emotions to come up and working through them instead of suppressing them. So yeah, I am, as we all are, we're doing our best, and I think it's important to know that um, the journey never ends.
Right.
This is just one vessel that we have, but there are many, many more, and I think that treating your body as a temple is so powerful.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Indeed. Indeed. Mara, congratulations. Congratulations. Oh my gosh.
did
That's
you do?
amazing.
What is
That's
that?
amazing. Just you doing this for yourself. I just wanted to congratulate
Oh,
you.
thank you, thank you. I just saw a bunch of fireworks
Yeah,
behind you. That
that's
was
for you.
beautiful.
That's for
Oh, thank
you.
you, thank you. That's very nice. So I did have a question.
Mhm.
Yes, in terms of rest, in terms of sleep, in terms of lucid dreaming, it's something that I've really, really, really been wanting to get into more, and I just was wondering where your head is at with that, and if you do sleep, do you have a specific amount of time? Because I see you going to bed and then you're so full of energy that you don't even need sleep. So I'm wondering where you're at with that and if you would like to share anything about rest in general.
For sure. Yeah, so my sleep varies. It depends on like how much liquid I've had during the day. So if I have like a whole bunch of, juice or just a whole bunch of water or just a whole bunch of anything, then there's more sitting, there's more sitting
Mm,
inside. So the more that I feel is in the gut, the less guidance. And I feel like lucid dreams are really guiding, like there's messages in our dreams, and my dreams when I was over at my family's house and here as well have been very lucid, where it's like it's a separate reality. It's a whole nother reality, but it's real. It feels real. It's like this actually happened. And then you can come back and you can write it down. And I had a dream journal for one time. There was a years ago I used to keep a dream journal, and I would write down my dreams. And at first, it was only like maybe a few words, a couple sentences. And then it turned into a few paragraphs. And then it turned into a few pages. And then I was just writing. I was just writing. And it was like, oh my gosh, I remember that. Dang, I remember that too. And my dream recall was just going up through the roof. And I was remembering these vivid messages and things that I received during my dreams. You're able to see your subconscious patterns. You're able to see things that lie below the level of conscious awareness, the things that you don't even realize are kind of pulling the strings in the background, or the symbolism and the messages that could actually give you connections to put the pieces of the puzzle together, to connect the dots, even looking forward and back. Time and space and everything just kind of blends into one. There's really not, it's not linear. It's not linear. It's just like an ocean or like a circle that's just all encompassing, all at the same moment in the same time. So it's very visionary, it's very prophetic, it can be very, cathartic to relive these experiences, to write down these dreams, and to have a place where they remain in your heart, but also just to connect with yourself even deeper, to understand that, you can see people in your dreams, you can have circumstances, situations, encounters, and they have so much meaningfulness. It's like, wow, that actually happened. So when you bring that back into the waking life, you can have more purpose and more defined, like a defining journey, when you connect with this unconscious life, the life that's happening while we're in that prone position, while we're sleeping. It's not like we should disregard that. Like that's a whole nother thing that's happening. That's a whole part of your existence, part of our spirituality. So I
yeah,
definitely say, yeah, dreams are a big part of me, my consciousness, and I feel like they're very important, especially if you remember them. A dream that you remember, it wasn't a dream, that was a message. Yeah.
wow. Wow. Yes, I've been um much more in tune with my dreams, and it's just so interesting. Like last night, all I can remember, I was like, you need to remember this. Is just an E, the letter
Mm,
E.
mm,
So it's like this, but then the bottom part of the E is just like that, and it's like radiating like
mm,
beams. I was like, okay, cool. Let's just, remember that. But it's just so beautiful to me that not only do we have this magical reality that we have right now, me talking to you, but we have a whole other reality when we go to sleep.
mm,
And it's beautiful to think that, yeah, our body is being regenerated with this sleep, but also our spirit, our soul is having a whole different journey. And it's so amazing that God, the universe has put us here to experience not only one reality but two, and it's just beautiful. Um, I did see this one, I don't know if it was a video quote. This man would use his dream, well, many people would use their dream reality to essentially try out multiple different pathways within their life. So they would be at this starting point. I'm this at this point in my life. Okay, next step. Do I want to do this, 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 or do I want to do this, this, this? And they would try out all these different pathways to see where they would reach the end goal where they wanted to be. And that way was the most efficient for them to, see their pathway of most fulfillment. So I thought that was really cool that we can utilize the dream world in any way that we want to. And not only that, like realizing that yes, we can lucid dream, we can fly in our dreams, we can manifest anything in our dreams, but also we have that power here
yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah.
We can do all of that, and it just goes to show that all those fairy tales, they are true. All of those things that we've been told are fiction, fairy tale. Those are realities, and those are powerful truths. And we are extremely powerful. We are more powerful than we would ever know. So yeah, and I think when I was beginning my journey of self-realization, I would I would get in these moments where I'm trying to share something so amazing, so exciting for me, and my body would just shake. My body would just like I couldn't. I think there was just so much anger inside of me of that I couldn't fully express it, and also the person wasn't receiving. So my body would shake, and I think that it was just energy trying to move. But I think that there's a lot of moments where, in the past, I've tried to share certain things with people and I'm not being
Mm,
received almost. And I think this is a part of the ego. It's a part of my ego trying to feel accepted, trying to feel received by someone else when they're just not willing to receive, and that's okay. That's the reality of it. So I think meeting people where they're at is really important, and allowing for, um, allowing myself not to feel like I'm being rejected or whatever, have that self realization where I am actualized. I am what I am. And if you can't receive that, that's okay.
mm.
I can try to receive what you're trying to send, and then we can meet in the middle somehow. But yeah, I think that the dream world is so beautiful, and I really do want to start um, allowing that part of my life to flourish more. And since a while ago, since I stopped smoking, my dreams have been more vivid.
Mhm.
Since I've been consuming less, my dreams have been more vivid. So I'm slowly becoming lighter and lighter. And then also, I want to remember to ground myself because I don't want to be like all up in here and then not physically ground in this avatar in this vessel. So I think a balance of both is really important. And yeah, I really just want to fly. I've never flown in my dreams yet. So yeah, that's coming. That's coming for me.
Coming,
Yeah.
that's coming. I
Yeah.
love how you say, I am what I am, you know? I am that I am. It's so like it's powerful, you
Yeah,
know. It's even biblical. It's very, yeah, it's very powerful.
it is
Yeah.
biblical. Yes. Yeah, it really is. Um, yeah, I I'm not sure if you have or if you've seen one of these, but I wanted to shout out my friend, Munas Magica. He makes these
Oh,
beautiful copper um, harmonizers,
beautiful.
and it's been grounding me this whole conversation.
Nice.
I whenever I speak about something that I'm passionate about or excited about, I sweat a lot.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's really nice to be holding this right now. It's very grounding.
Awesome. Awesome.
Wow, thank you so much, Jerome. I want to tell you, I've already said this multiple times, how much I appreciate you, how much you have been a part of opening my mind,
Wow.
and wow, just I can't believe the amount of people that you've created that ripple effect in their mentality and their reality and just everything. So yeah, and I know that you have, like you said, you know, you're being carried on a giant's shoulders, and I want to, you know, say thank you to all of those people as well that have been a part of your journey, for making you exactly who you are today. And I think it's important for all of us to appreciate where we're at and allow for acceptance of where you are in your path, and letting go of any shame or guilt, um, because that's not necessary. It's not necessary to feel that. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Jerome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and if you had any other things to say, or just yeah, anything at all, before we wrap up.
Yeah, just gratitude. Gratitude for you, Mara, just coming out like I said before, just coming out of your shell, coming into yourself, coming out of your comfort zone and into your discovery zone,
Yeah.
you know, just uncovering parts of yourself, pieces of yourself, and just aspects of you, you know, just the I am. My friend says I am equals intention, action, manifestation. You
Mm.
know, you have the intention. Now you're taking the action, and then comes the manifestation. You know, there it is. Happy birthday. So you're doing that. You're living the I am
Uh,
right now.
yeah.
You're living the I am. So thank you just for doing that, because when you shine, you're giving other people permission to shine. There's been people that have listened to you, that have felt you, at a heart level, at a cellular level, and they felt the words that you said just eloquently, coming from your own experience, letting go of the guilt, the shame, and the blame, and all of those games, and just coming into you. When you say that, it's very relatable, and a person can see that, because perfection is not relatable. None of us are perfect. We're all working. you know we're not perfect, but we're all worth it. you know
Mm.
like, we're all worthy. So you're giving yourself that worthiness, that understanding that you can love yourself in a whole new way, and that loving yourself doesn't have to be like it was before. Now it can be something that you explore to see even more what is in store. you know so I love that for you. Yeah.
Thank you, Jerome. Thank you for showing up and for accepting my invite. Yeah, and just yeah, I can't wait to continue this. I definitely want to have more conversations with people and just yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jerome. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Continue.
hope you
Keep
have a
going. Keep
thank
going.
you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and yeah, keep shining, keep shining.
Absolutely. We will. All right.
Bye.
Take care.